The storm is here, and it's not just swirling, it's tearing through the corridors of power with a force that feels impossible to ignore. Imagine this: Piers Morgan, fiery as ever, has ignited a fuse that could explode the most carefully curated royal narrative. And the timing? Almost surgical, almost too precise to be coincidence. Reports from both the United States and the United Kingdom are converging, whispers creeping out from behind Buckingham Palace gates, hushed murmurs about documents, inconsistencies, missing details that no one has dared to publicly acknowledge. And in the center of this brewing maelstrom are not Harry or Meghan themselves, but their children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, and the titles, privileges, and official standing that have somehow become the epicenter of a crisis that could shake the monarchy to its core. Everyone's eyes are on Montecito right now, on Meghan Markle, reportedly under pressure the likes of which she has never known, caught between public scrutiny and private fury as Piers Morgan keeps asking the questions that make the world squirm.
Harry and Meghan Markle's surrogacy scandal has entered the mainstream media domain. This crisis won't die down until the irrefutable truth comes out.
The question isn't polite. It isn't theoretical. It cuts straight to the heart of a contradiction that's been simmering in plain sight for years. If Harry and Meghan continue to wield their Sussex titles like golden tickets and streaming deals, brand partnerships, and high-profile appearances, while simultaneously portraying themselves as wounded by the very institution that grants them, then what exactly is the story here? Piers Morgan calls it what it is: hypocrisy, glaring and undeniable. These titles aren't just names, they're currency, they're power. And now the focus is shifting ominously toward the next generation. Archie, Lilibet, more titles, more value attached to a name. Piers doesn't even frame this in terms of tradition, he frames it in money. And as soon as he lays it out, reactions ignite. Nerves fray, people notice, and it rattles the cage.
Princess Lilibet Diana had been christened. Why would they use a title for their children that represents an institution they loathe so much? She was never pregnant at all. Instead, the videos embolden conspiracy theorists. They're calling it Megspiracy, and the pair are being subjected to yet more merciless ridicule.
It's not abstract anymore. This is about consequences, repercussions, and the mechanics of monarchy itself. The infamous Oprah interview is pulled back into the frame, a seismic event in the royal saga. Archie was denied a royal title, Meghan claimed, because of his skin color. The allegation? Explosive, global, incendiary. Piers Morgan fired back, dissecting the claim against centuries-old letters, patent, and protocols established by King George V. Great-grandchildren of monarchs don't automatically receive princely titles. Archie wasn't singled out. The rules are impartial, relentless, and often misunderstood. But the damage? Done. The narrative stuck like glue to global consciousness. And now, months later, that spotlight is shining on every birth certificate, every registry, every document connected to these children.
Harry and Meghan playing games that resulted in people unnecessarily questioning things. Again, every toxicity thing is result of them.
They're legally covering their backs. There's just too many unknowns. And then, of course, we have that the doctor that allegedly delivered Lily quit her practice 2 weeks after giving birth to Lily or delivering Lily. That sentence there is missing.
The reports pile up. Prince William is allegedly taking serious steps behind the scenes. Stripping Harry and Meghan of their titles may no longer be a question of if, it's when. And the reach? Archie and Lilibet could be drawn into this. An entire family standing under scrutiny, all for the sake of protocol, consistency, and the integrity of the monarchy. Piers Morgan has been signaling this scenario for months, and now the threads are converging. Sources whisper comparisons to past royal controversies, to Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, drawing lines between public scrutiny and private privilege. The logic, stark and unyielding. If you're not a full-time working royal, why cling to the title? Zara Tindall lives without it, succeeds without it, so why should these children be exceptions while living in sunny California, far from duty, far from the institution itself? The tension ratchets higher. Social media posts of the children, rare, fleeting, tantalizing, feed the fire. Observers claim Meghan's careful curation of Archie and Lilibet's public image borders on provocation, flaunting a connection to a family that barely knows them, while making legal threats if titles are revoked. Piers questions the plausibility. Titles are the crown's prerogative, not negotiable in California courts. Yet even discussing the possibility signals the intensity of this storm. It's no longer a story about image or brand. It's about control, authority, lineage, and power. The raw, unvarnished mechanics of monarchy being played out in real time. Senior advisors are reportedly examining records directly tied to Archie and Lilibet, their births, their paperwork, their official standing in the royal line. Reports claim Archie's birth certificate was updated months after his arrival, removing Meghan's full legal name and listing only her royal title, a move almost unheard of, a flag that triggers alarms in the palace corridors. Lilibet, born in California, faces similar scrutiny. No British doctors, no formal palace bulletin, no Church of England confirmation. The titles being attached to children living oceans away, performing no duties, participating in no royal engagements, yet still leveraged for global branding, creates a rupture in centuries of protocol. Every layer Piers Morgan exposes makes the storm feel larger, louder, inevitable. The palace isn't idle, but every whisper, every unusual document, every gap in the usual chain of royal procedure has raised alarm bells in Buckingham, and the atmosphere is said to be electric with tension. Piers Morgan painted in stark terms, the crown does not act without reason, and when it comes to lineage, protocol, and the official record, nothing is trivial. Every tiny deviation, every ambiguous entry, every delayed signature ripples outward, and now all eyes are on Montecito, on Meghan, on the children, as if a single misstep could ignite a full-blown institutional confrontation. Attention has zeroed in on the birth announcements. Archie's timeline was scrambled. Hours of confusion, no official confirmation, no doctor signatures, a public narrative that didn't align with the documents behind the palace doors. For Lilibet, the scrutiny is even sharper. Born in California, the announcement and documentation were handled exclusively by Harry and Meghan's team. No British royal doctors, no palace bulletin, no formal public recognition. To Piers Morgan, this isn't mere celebrity autonomy, it's a seismic deviation from centuries of royal protocol. And it raises the ultimate question: how can these children claim titles, public standing, and recognition that tie them directly to the crown when every formal connection is tenuous at best? The tension is compounded by the financial dimension. Every media project, every brand deal, every Netflix series, every social media post is infused with the royal connection. To the outside world, titles are prestige, legacy, a bridge to influence. To the palace, they are structure, continuity, and accountability. And if those titles were to vanish, the shift would be catastrophic, not just for perception, but for the very power dynamics Harry and Meghan have cultivated over years. Piers Morgan relentlessly underscores this point. Without Sussex titles, they are simply a former royal couple who stepped away from the world's most famous family and spent years publicly criticizing it. And that image alone could undercut a decade of brand building, and the crown's decision-making machinery is precise, unfeeling, and immovable when it comes to protecting its integrity. Reports circulating now describe 3 possible paths for Archie and Lilibet. The first is a quiet freeze. The titles remain officially, but slowly fade in recognition. A soft sunset of royal connection. No headlines, no announcements, just a gradual retreat into obscurity. The second, more subtle but equally definitive, is a quiet reclassification. Over time, the children's names could be removed from formal records, shifting them fully into private life outside the monarchy's operational structure. And the third, the most dramatic yet entirely within the palace's authority, is formal removal. If the internal review finds key protocols or documentation lacking, the crown could act decisively. No fanfare, no drawn-out public debate, just a firm, unflinching decision to maintain the system's integrity. Piers Morgan frames this in blunt, unrelenting terms: institutions endure, individuals come and go, and the monarchy will always protect itself first, even when that protection lands directly on the next generation. The pressure is now squarely on Prince William. According to multiple sources, he has been observing every move, every media appearance, every statement, and calculating. Emotions are irrelevant here. Protocol, precedent, and the long-term health of the monarchy take precedence. George, Charlotte, and Louis, his own children, are the future custodians of this legacy. Decisions regarding Harry, Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet will reverberate across generations. Every document, every official record, every lapse or anomaly is being weighed. And in Montecito, tension reportedly simmers. Meghan's desire to maintain titles, to resist removal, to even litigate, collides with the reality she may not control. Titles are bestowed by the crown. The courts across oceans are unlikely to intervene. The stakes? Monumental. From every angle, this story is still unfolding. Piers Morgan's relentless scrutiny has drawn a spotlight that the palace cannot ignore. And each revelation, each gap in protocol, each altered document, each public claim is being connected like an intricate web of cause and effect. The question of titles for Archie and Lilibet is no longer a family matter. It is a matter of institutional survival, legacy, and the silent but unyielding power of centuries-old rules. Every click, click, every deal, every tweet carries weight, and every piece of this puzzle points to one inescapable truth. The monarchy moves with calculated inevitability, and what unfolds next will reshape narratives, reputations, and perhaps even the future of the Sussex children's place in history. The tension is palpable, the drama unavoidable, and the world watches, waiting for the crown's hand to fall. Every whisper from Buckingham, every leaked report, every raised eyebrow adds fuel to a fire that could redefine royal protocols forever. The final thought lingers. Will this all remain quietly behind closed doors, or will the palace make an overt statement that shakes the global stage? Should titles fade subtly, be quietly reclassified, or be formally stripped, the implications are enormous. For Harry and Meghan, for Archie and Lilibet, and for a monarchy built on rules, records, and legacy, the next move is decisive. And as Piers Morgan continues to ask the questions others dare not, the world sits on the edge of revelation, watching a story that is far from over, far from contained, and brimming with drama that refuses to be ignored, refuses to be ignored, refuses to be ignored.